I'm Shawna Martin.
And I'm Misty Perlman.
And this is
Book Till June. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. This is episode 8. An apple a day keeps me paid.
Hey.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
Getting paid. Show me the money.
Thank you for joining us
Totally.
on Book Till June. Today we're going to talk about the healthy professional. Are you guys healthy?
I hope
It's a-
so.
I mean, I aspire to be.
It's
Me
a constant.
too.
I
constant
definitely take
goal.
vitamins.
Constant
Ooh,
goal.
Flintstone?
Meet the
I've
Flintstones.
graduated and I take adult real vitamins.
Oh, good.
Ooh, probiotics.
And I drink water. Yeah.
And you drink
probiotics,
water. We're
yeah.
going to talk about all the things that it means to be healthy in our industry. We're going to identify some common beauty professional health issues and some pain points. Does anybody have pain on a daily basis?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And not even, a lot of it's hunger pangs.
Ooh, fuel your day.
When you're hangry.
Some of that's going to be about proper nutrition.
Okay.
Yep. Ergonomics, exercising and stretching. That's preaching to the choir for me.
Yeah.
I need to exercise and stretch a little bit better.
Totally. I need to do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe some yoga.
So steps don't count.
Maybe a little
Steps
bit.
should count.
Steps
'Cause, oh
count.
my gosh.
Steps count. Then we're going to talk about sleep. I love to sleep.
Me too.
And when to take a sick day.
Yeah. Are you actually sick on the sick day?
Do we get sick days? I don't know. We'll see. Right? Do we get sick days?
No,
If I
it's-
schedule it out and don't put
Yeah.
anybody on my books.
Oh.
Okay. Let's talk about
That's
it.
your sick day.
With us today, we have a guest, Miss Alyssa Hansen.
Hi,
Hey.
Alyssa.
And of course, we have Nick with us again today.
Hey,
Hi, everybody.
Nick.
Hi.
And me, Misty Perlman, as
Hey,
well
Misty.
as.
Hi,
Hey.
Misty.
And there's Miss Shauna.
Hey.
Whoa,
Hey.
there she is.
There she is. All right. What is a healthy professional?
I don't know. What is it?
Is there a definition?
I have a definition.
I bet it's
Whoa.
not.
I have a definition.
Good.
Okay, you give me your definition.
Oh, I was just going to say, I bet it's not a crackhead.
I bet it's not a crackhead.
It's probably not a crackhead. Definitely, for sure.
Are you looking out the window again?
Oh my gosh.
You see the guy on the corner?
For those of you who don't know where we are, we're coming to you from downtown Spokane, Washington.
Hey.
There may or may not be some quote, unquote, crackheads.
I'm
Sorry.
sure.
Okay.
Is this going to make it in the episode?
Oh my gosh.
We'll see.
We might have. I don't know.
I think that'd be a good part of the episode.
What is a healthy
Just
professional?
being realistic. Yeah.
Someone with the ability to balance care for their customers and their own personal care.
Perfect.
That's a very good definition.
It really is. Being careful not to burn out physically as well as emotionally.
I was
So
just
back
going to
to
see
the
if mental
question.
health was on.
Well, also, like, how can you take care of somebody else if you can't take care of yourself?
For sure.
Agree. So I think in this industry, a lot of us are all about, taking care of our customers, right? You want to give them the best hair. You want to give them the best nails. You want to give them the best facial they can get, pedicure, massage, whatever it is, right? In this beauty industry,
Yes. Top services.
you want to give all that and give and give and give and give.
Glass
And then
is
at some
empty,
point,
huh?
yeah,
How do you refill?
you've just given so much. So we need to cover some of the, how do we make ourselves
Our best selves?
Our
Yeah,
best
because if I'm
selves.
not feeling my best, I do not want to do
How am I going to make someone else feel
stuff.
their
Yeah,
best?
I don't want to. Yeah, my service is probably going to suck if I'm not feeling great.
I agree. All right. So
How do I feel great?
how do you feel great?
Yeah, how do we feel great?
Let's
Misty?
talk about a few of them.
Okay.
So some of the common beauty professional health issues are allergies. Who's got allergies?
I do.
You do? What are you allergic to?
I'm not really sure. I couldn't really afford the allergy test. I just know that when everything's in bloom, my nose goes crazy.
Okay, so you're talking about like the flowers and the trees.
Yes, and I feel like I've done my own research on myself, and whenever I'm around pine trees,
Pollen. Pollen is
they
huge.
seem to be more like my eyes get more itchy when I'm around evergreen pine trees. But I think it's like the bull pine tree.
Do you know where you live?
Why? I think it's
Evergreen
in Spokane.
State?
Yeah.
Did we not
The
talk about
Evergreen
Spokane,
State.
Washington?
Yeah. Well, for example, like when I go to my friend's house, she's surrounded by those types of trees. My allergies are on high alert. And when I'm at my own house, when they're not in my own yard, I do okay with my, over-the-counter medicine. But
Yeah.
anyway, allergies are real.
So when we talk about allergic reactions occur when a person's immune system reacts negatively to normally harmless substances in the environment. So like Shawna said, itchy eyes, runny nose, skin,
Can't breathe.
can't breathe.
That's the worst.
Rashes.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid, maybe
Rashes.
like diarrhea.
Ugh.
Okay.
Diarrhea is an allergic reaction?
Hold on.
It can
To
be,
milk if you're lactose intolerant.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have never had diarrhea smelling a pine tree.
Well, as it relates to the beauty industry,
Gotcha.
our allergies can come from fragrances in products, perhaps preservatives in products.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What about those chemicals?
Sure.
How many of those colorists out there do you know don't put on gloves?
A lot, especially ones at school.
Yeah.
Contact dermatitis.
Yeah. Excessive exposure to moisture. All right. Just shampooing and shampooing and shampooing. And sometimes you may work for many years with a certain product without any issues.
Right.
And then just all of a sudden, ouch.
And then you're done. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
Literally.
with you.
Yeah. Sometimes it just comes up on you after so long. You've worked, 10 years without using gloves and you've been fine. And then all of a sudden you're not. Okay.
Cuts your career like half.
That's why
practically
washing
in
your
half.
hands. Yeah, washing your hands is key.
Washing your hands is key.
Well, and gloves. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I mean,
gloves.
it does limit your exposure to chemicals,
Yeah.
right? If we're doing color, it does limit, but it's important to still wash our hands after you take the gloves off.
Right.
Because what's on?
You
Hello,
don't know.
wasn't
Petri
there a
dish.
color line? Oh my gosh, wasn't there something in school when we were teaching that ate through the gloves? What?
Illumin by Goldwell.
Ouch.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what? It might have been the gloves.
Yeah, I
were
was gonna say,
using.
what if it was the quality of gloves?
Really.
What if it was
Or
the
that.
quality of gloves that
What if
were
they weren't
ordered?
What if
I
they
don't know,
weren't the
man.
right type of glove that's supposed to be used
Yeah.
with that color line? What if on the instructions on the manufacturer's label it stated a specific glove is required
I mean,
to be
it
used,
could've.
and then people just ignored it because some people think what they think.
So gloves, I think, come in all different grades, if you might say, right?
Yeah.
I know back when my husband was a paramedic, and
They have like the thicker.
oh my gosh, the gloves,
Kind of gloves.
sometimes would be in his pocket. You know, like not used gloves, but like brand new
Okay,
gloves.
because I'm really like,
no,
what?
gloves were in his pocket from being at work, and I remember like, oh, those are the really good ones.
Take them for.
And so I would take them. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to use those in the shop today.
Yeah.
Because those were the best gloves.
Well, they're firefighters, so they got to protect
well, they
themselves
were,
against.
yeah, they were just a thicker,
And
I don't know.
Body
Vinyl,
fluid.
glove.
vinyl seems to provide a really good barrier,
Yeah.
whereas like the sterile nitrite gloves, is that what they're called?
Nitrile.
Nitrile. Yeah.
They're porous, and it seems like stuff can soak through. Sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. And we know we all went through that crazy pandemic where gloves were hard to find
Hard to
and
find.
whatever. And I feel like some of them that were out there were like really, really thin, you know, just cheap.
The stuff you would find in the box.
Not
tag
recommended
glo-
for
in the
chemical
box size.
application.
Right, right.
Weird.
And so we think about that seeping through those gloves, creating an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. So even just fragrances. I used to work with a gal, and although her perfume was great,
It was not the right. It didn't. You didn't. Your nose didn't like it.
right? No. I mean,
Headache. I would
Headache.
get headaches from heavy perfumes.
And so it's really important too if you're working in the salon with other people or you're at school or any workplace really. I mean, be careful what you're, you might like it. You're
You got the
dousing
people
yourself
who
with the
bathe in Axe.
the Axe
The
men's
Axe
body
bathers.
spray.
Yeah.
Those were the junior high kids.
Oh.
The boys that came in after PE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bathed in their spray cologne.
Need a new bottle
that or
every week.
BO, like what?
Well, true.
Axe mixed with BO.
Gross.
Oof.
Even worse.
My other biggest proponent is creams or lotions, just to restore moisture.
Yeah.
Right now, most people already know I'm in a barbershop. So I'm doing a lot of shampooing. And I've noticed my hands, oh my gosh, they're just so dry. So every single morning on my way to work, I'm putting oil on my cuticles, Miss Shawna. And I'm putting lotion on. Yes, and I'm driving very carefully while I'm putting oil on my cuticles.
Oh my God, while you're driving. Misty.
Yeah, I just admitted that. Sorry. I'm putting lotion on my hands and putting oil on my cuticles every single morning on my way to and home.
While she's parked in her car. That's perfect, Misty. Good job.
Yes, while I'm parked before I go into the barbershop.
That's lovely.
But using the creams to restore the moisture, our hands are our job, right?
Yeah.
So all of us that have been in this industry for any length of time, nail techs, cosmetologists, estheticians, your hands are going to go through the ringer. And being able to take care of them is really important.
Well, yeah, moisturization, it keeps the skin flexible so that it won't crack and split open. And then, of course, your skin's your only protection against the environment. So if it's split open, then whatever you're touching is going to...
Right into your bloodstream.
Take that bacteria right on in. Gross. So protect your body.
Protect your body.
Use lotion.
Use lotion. I like it.
Put the lotion on the skin.
Put the lotion on the skin.
Or else you get the hose
and
again.
I would say a good quality lotion, too.
Oh, that's important, too.
Yeah.
Not like your average dollar store.
Non-fragranted lotion is best.
Yeah, because there's so many fragrances out there now. When you guys are talking about lotions and all the smell good stuff, you know, you all go to the big body stores that have all the perfumey stuff and it all smells good. And you think, ooh, I want to smell like...
Well, there's a difference.
Whatever.
No, I tell my students all the time, there's a big difference between the two types of lotions. One's for actual hydration, fragrance-free. Then you have smell-good lotions that you're putting on because you're about to pop inside somewhere and you want to freshen up.
Right.
But you're not hydrating with that lotion.
Right.
Even though it does give you a little bit of moisturization, it's not as long as a non-fragranted one. Fragrance sucks moisture out, so.
Well, most fragrances have a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
Or that's the delivery system.
Volatile. VOCs.
Yeah, VOCs.
And alcohol dries the skin.
Dries
so it's
out the
like,
skin.
what?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Well,
It
it depends
cracks
on
open.
the type of alcohols. There's some moisturizing alcohols, too,
Yeah.
if we go into the chemistry side.
Get
Sure.
into the chemistry. Love it.
What's next?
All right, let's talk about the common pain points. What do we think common pain points would be in this industry?
Well, shit, I'm going to say knees right off the bat because I'm literally struggling with knees and then back, lower back.
Your back.
Your back? Any kind of joint pain?
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah, I felt that one.
This thumb and these two fingers, they're just...
I started the career with carpal tunnel, so
Oh.
Ouch.
I'm in it for the long run.
I've been having some elbow pain of all elbow pain on my non-dominant arm.
It's from
It's holding the comb.
Yep.
Yeah. Shoulders.
And shoulders,
shoulders.
all of it.
One time I
right?
had a frozen shoulder. That was insane.
That sounds painful.
What's
What
a
is
frozen
that?
shoulder?
You can't move.
It's where you can't
assuming.
literally pull your arm up past this point. So try rolling a perm or cutting long hair. Like,
Cutting layers into hair.
no thanks. You just go home and sit down.
Will you sit on the floor?
That's
for
when you
me?
take a sick. That's when you take a sick day when you can't move, right?
Exactly. If you're allowed to. Yeah.
If you're allowed.
So I think proper ergonomics is the best prevention. So when we talk about ergonomical shears, I personally use
Those are important.
a swivel shear.
Oh, Miss Fancy.
I have a swivel too.
I actually have
just old school.
double swivel and slider swivels.
Misty's got so many.
I could never do the swivel. It always made me feel like I was going to make a wrong cut.
You
I
just have
get
to
it.
practice. It's a
Yeah,
practice
it is.
thing.
The first time I picked up swivel shears, it took me about 3 weeks
Especially the double swivel.
of cutting every day before I
The
felt like I
double
wasn't going to
swivel,
drop them. But now, and I'll bounce back and forth between regular traditional hair cutting shears and swivel shears, and I'll pick up the regular ones, and I'm like, oh,
I can't just...
I can't move. I can't move that thumb. I can't move that thumb around. So it really makes a difference for me. But the ergonomics too of if we think about, we were just talking about pumping up chairs, using the chair, standing properly, using proper body mechanics. If you're talking
Posture.
about hair cutting, wrapping a perm, what about doing nails?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
your ergonomics there are important.
Yeah, they're super important. You have to have like a hydraulic chair, or not sort of like one that goes up and down, not a hydraulic hair chair.
Right.
And one that turns and swivels. It's on wheels, and then also you have to make sure that the table's a certain height, you're a certain height, the lamp is a certain height, your arms are well rested on the table at a certain place, you're holding the client up a certain way. There's just a lot into it. Otherwise, you're going to develop like a big camel hump on your neck.
Well, yeah, you have that hunch. You're
Yeah, which
You're
I kind of
bent
have
over.
one. I kind of have a smallish one
Yeah.
on mine, and it goes numb sometimes.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I can imagine pedicures too.
yeah,
Besides just the manicure table, but a pedicure.
yeah. You have to have
Knowing that you're
yeah.
Because you're bending down more.
Well, and that's why those pedicure thrones are so nice, because it does put the client kind of at a good ergonomic situation, so that
Higher
you're not
place.
hurting yourself. But I think also technicians, especially in the beginning, like they're scared. And this is gonna sound crass, but they're scared to just open their legs, like spread
just
them,
pedicure.
like literally spread them open, like just open them up and straddle the end of that chair, and and then move your chair around.
And see, the thing I thought was, when I would talk to students, they're like, "Oh, well, you never wanted to like, hey, could you bend your head, talk to your client, head down, please, or could you
Yeah.
sit straight, please, or whatever." And then I think the client's in your chair for this amount of, I'm holding my fingers up,
Yeah.
a short amount of time, right? So whether or not you're doing a haircut, a color service, a manicure,
half an
pedicure,
inch of time.
it's only this amount of time. You're trying to do this job for 30, 40 years,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
So if they need to be uncomfortable, quote unquote, for a few minutes or an hour or 2 hours, for you to be comfortable in how you're doing the service, I think is more important.
Yeah, that's a hard one because they always tell you ergonomics is important, but then in school they tell you you don't make your client uncomfortable. They always tell you you want to do your best to not make your client uncomfortable with what you're doing.
I feel like that's a good point. I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you're practicing good ergonomics, your client will not be under duress.
Yeah.
Like-
it's not like you have your face in their face for no reason.
Yeah.
Right.
But with students and future professionals, I feel like the face-to-face is probably the most awkward thing to get used to. I was telling you the one in the chair with his arms up over, cutting bangs from behind.
Yeah.
And it's like, flip them around.
Yeah, flip 'em
stand
around.
And get in their
knee,
face.
Knee
In
to
the-
knee,
yeah.
and get up in there.
And this might be
My knee touches their knee.
Yo.
Well, it's better your knee than something else. just
sometimes I'm
saying.
right in between the client's leg.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Right,
in
right.
between the client's legs, straddling them like a Texas
Yeah.
Roadhouse birthday song. Like
for the pedicure? Yeah.
no, for cutting bangs.
Oh, for cutting bangs. Yeah.
Yeah.
For cutting bangs, because I've got to get in there, and especially it's like mostly on a taller person.
Yeah.
Like on a taller person, I'm not going to stand all the way out here. I'm going to get in there. I'll announce myself before doing it, but
So that's really important. Now that I'm thinking about that and you guys are giving examples, being in the barbershop, I'm doing beard trims every day.
Oh yeah, I mean you're
On men that I'm on their,
Are
You
you on
can
a
feel
s-
your breath on their skin. You know,
I'm
you're
literally
right there.
trimming their mustache off their lip.
do you ever do a stool? Like a high stool where you're just kind of like,
No, I don't do a stool. What I wish sometimes I could do, because this is how I cut my husband's beard, I make him stand up and I can be right under, because
Yeah.
it's my husband.
Yeah.
And I'll say, put your head, look up to the sky, and I'm right up underneath his neck. And I can do what I need to do, edging out the bottom of his beard and whatever. And depending on the ergonomics of the chair, whether or not your barbershop chair goes
yeah,
back.
it doesn't the barbershop chair
It
lay back?
depends. The ones that I'm working in don't lay back like a traditional barber chair. They're
Interesting.
They are barber chairs, but not like in that traditional sense where you can lay them
Interesting.
back. So the beard trimming can be a little bit
Challenging.
Your equipment makes a huge difference.
It does. It does. Same thing with the level or the height of shampoo bowls. I know we've
Oh.
been in places
I know
where shampoo bowls are so low.
I will never
That's the worst.
understand. I will never ever understand why people insist on putting a shampoo bowl against a wall where
Thank
you
you.
have to bend to the side
Yep.
and you have to twist in this weird angle
Yep.
and then and whatever. The second they created those shampoo bowls that are kind of in the middle of the room you can stand behind,
Which
it's
is
like
Those are the greatest
it's
thing.
like why aren't those
ever.
normalized?
But relatively new
other one
to the
should be
industry,
outlawed.
to be honest.
They are relatively new.
And then the ones that are
And
like
more expensive.
in the middle, you could stand behind. They even have like ones where you can sit behind them too.
Yes.
And so you can just sit and wash someone's hair.
Yes.
It's an adjustment,
From
though,
behind them.
switching from
Oh,
side to
for
behind.
sure.
You're like, what am I doing right now?
I feel like a lot of people drop out of beauty school because of the whole shampooing bit. They don't understand like what they're about to get into
No, I agree.
physically. And so like you take somebody that's never worked out, okay?
Right.
They'd never worked out their entire life. Never mind like they used to work out 3 years ago type of comment. They've never worked out. They show up to beauty school. It's the most physical, grueling job, and nobody tells you about it. And then these schools don't have a gym that you can work out in to get better. And then they have this cockamamie, shampoo bowl against the wall with 6 of them next to each other. So there's almost no space.
That's
Yeah.
like 3 feet off the ground.
Yeah, Yeah, it's very low. You're twisted to the side. It's just, anyway, warn people about the physicality of it.
You're breaking your back
Physicality.
washing hair.
Yeah.
It's physically demanding.
It is.
Yeah.
My mom retired because of
The physical.
physical ailments from ergonomics.
Yeah.
Or the lack of ergonomics.
Yeah, I think it's if we
Tragic.
can talk to any of these relatively new students or future professionals that are coming into the industry, if they could take, it's one of those things that I've been through this, let me tell you, but sometimes they just have to experience it from themselves.
You have to learn things the hard way.
You do have to
the
learn
same
things
kind
the
of
hard
guy.
way. I like to think about shoes. Choosing shoes that offer support to all parts of your feet.
Yeah. What are your favorite shoes?
Oh my gosh.
What are your
tell you-
go-tos?
Here's the thing.
Skechers.
Skechers?
Some people like Skechers. So I feel like sometimes the Skechers have a little too much.
You really got to find your
Squish.
Sketcher though, because all Skechers are different.
Okay.
I like
didn't know
memory
that.
foam. I just need a little bit of cushion.
Because like for my work shoes right now, I wear like Skechers work shoes, and they're not too squishy, but they're like the perfect amount of
Yeah.
squish.
Yeah.
Well, then my feet are kind of flat, so I have to be careful with the arch. If the arch
Yeah.
is too high, it hurts.
Yeah,
But
I'm
if
the
it's too
same way.
low, it hurts. So
So I like to think about function over fashion. I tell myself that now in
especially
my
shoes.
Oh yeah, mine
advanced
my shoes ain't the prettiest thing.
age of being in this career. Back in the day, I could say that I wore heels to work.
Doing hair.
Oh,
in
you're
heels.
crazy, Misty.
I
girl.
did.
Ouch.
Because we were in
how?
in that type of salon that needed we were
The look.
Upscale.
the look. It was
class.
upscale. It was classy.
Shoulder pads.
Yeah, the shoulder pads.
You're dating me, Nick. I mean, it could have been shoulder pad era with heels. Yes, I can admit that.
God.
But I think about that now. I'm like, oh my gosh, were we stupid? We were
Nah.
cutting hair. I was wearing heels.
It was the culture.
It was the
then.
culture. We were wearing heels. No. So if anything, I could tell students and even newbies in the profession, like, get yourself some good shoes, whatever that is for you.
Good closed-toed shoes.
Oh my goodness.
That's very important.
Closed-toed shoes.
That's very
Now let's talk
important.
about that. Some states there's law about shoes.
Really?
There is. And then sometimes it might just be the salon you're working in. Their dress code might be an open or closed-toed shoe.
I don't think Washington has a
Well,
law.
I think OSHA
don't think they
might
do.
have something to do with that.
And
that's
OSHA might have something
That's
to
a
do with it.
federal.
So
This is why being a nail tech is amazing, because you can literally wear whatever shoes you want, whenever you want.
well,
You
why
sit all
would
day.
shoes be important
I mean, you
for
don't
that?
want, you
Closed-toed
don't want
shoes.
to drop shears on your toe,
Well,
chemicals on your feet.
You don't want to get a hair sliver.
Hair sliver in your
slivers
toe.
in your
That is
toes.
the worst.
Yeah. Also, it's
Hair
just
sliver? Is that a thing?
so
my
gross.
gosh.
They're painful.
Such
The
a
idea
thing.
of somebody else's hair follicle growing and making a baby inside your body is kind of sick.
I don't know
It
if it
is
makes a
kinda
baby.
gross.
It does. It's
But
like
it
a
can
germ
fester
baby.
and-
It's a germ baby. It's eating
But no, it doesn't
molecules
belong,
and
so-
growing, mastating, like,
Oh my god.
And sometimes you don't know until
until you have pus and you need amputation, and there you
you're
are.
like, oh my gosh, that was a hair. I
Yeah.
knew
And that was
a
just
hair.
one little hair. So I think closed-toed shoes are probably pretty important when you get into the warmer months and you're like, "Ugh, why can't we wear sandals?
Oh my.
I hope you get a hair
Gosh.
sliver, and then you ask me that again.
I'm torn. They look cute with an outfit, and sometimes there's shoes that I'm like, oh, well, these cute jeans
Full
don't
shoes.
really look good with.
Full shoes, full socks. I still find hair in my.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree. There are times when I've used now not recently, but there was a point in my career where I needed to use what are they called? Not like support hose, the socks that are
Compression
socks.
Compression socks. That's what they're called. Support hose. Oh my gosh.
The same thing, right?
Now I'm getting a real image. We've got high heels, support hose, and
compression socks. Has
Those
anybody
are
ever
very-
used compression
Yes.
socks?
Oh, those are the best.
Yes, they're very helpful.
So
when
if
you're
you're
on your feet all
standing
day.
for long periods of time, yeah, I think compression socks do make a difference.
well, they're more stylish nowadays.
Well,
oh my
you
gosh,
can put
they
stuff over them,
They're cute.
Yeah.
but I'm a guy.
I've seen some really cute ones now.
Yeah.
They're not all ugly
They're
like
stylish.
they used to be.
Yeah.
So part of my problem, I think, and I can freely admit this, not being always able to maintain a healthy weight was probably some of the reason that I needed to use compression socks.
Sure.
And so throughout my whole career, carrying any extra weight can be harmful.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it
I
wears
mean,
on
it's
you.
harmful for
Really
everybody.
quickly,
But when we
really
talk about
quickly.
it in this profession, I've been standing on my feet for approximately 34 years. 34 years, okay? And for most of that 34 years, I would say I have been somewhat overweight most of my life, and it does take a toll.
Yeah.
So if I can talk to the young ones or the people that are just newly in their profession, I'm looking at Alyssa over here.
Hydration.
Yeah.
That's
And
all
the
I drink,
weight's
guys.
huge.
I actually don't like any carbonated drinks. I don't drink soda. I don't drink anything like
I
that.
drink
I
just
don't even
water.
like carbonated water.
Yeah.
I am a huge just water drinker and
I
maybe
love
some
that.
lemonade and tea every once in a while. I barely even drink coffee.
Yeah. Water's good for you.
Look how smart she is. She's talking about hydrating
milk.
herself.
I rarely drink milk,
but
but
that's
milk's
this
good for you,
generation
too.
though. This generation,
It is.
these younger generations, they are keyed into like so many things. Environment.
Do you see
how
what I
that's
brought
going?
with me today?
Taking care of yourself.
Okay, so we're
Small
talking about
coffee,
my-
extra large water.
We're
I left
talking
my
about
coffee in
hydration.
the car, but it was tea actually.
Yeah, we're talking about hydration, and I have coffee here, and I have water.
That you
I've
have
drank-
not touched.
You have not touched the water, but you've drank
I've
most
drank
of your
half
coffee.
my coffee, have not touched my water. Our bodies rely on water
Yeah.
to function.
Well,
Mine's
some
about
would
the
argue.
same.
Some would argue that coffee is made with water. Therefore, you are fine.
Well, come on.
Yeah.
Caffeine.
Contrary to popular belief, we cannot live on coffee alone.
I know. Well, my doctor told me that years ago.
Quality nutrition is very
That
important.
coffee was made out of water.
Yeah.
And that
No,
you're
that
fine?
I need to drink
Oh.
water.
I think in this
It's like, that's a
industry,
great doctor.
I think in this industry, we are such coffee drinkers because it's quick.
We
It's
need
easy.
energy.
Or energy
It's the
drinks.
caffeine, or now the younger
You got the
generation,
Red
the energy
Bulls
drinks.
and the rock stars and all that coming into play
But
too.
clients don't want to watch you eat either. I mean, it's a very
Oh, it's
hard
disgusting.
industry
It
to be well.
yeah, doing
have-
everything.
Do the appropriate things to maintain your energy level.
Yeah.
For sure. But I think the dehydration, we know that by the time you feel thirsty, you're already
Already.
dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say most people in this industry work throughout their whole day dehydrated.
Well, just
And
so
hungry.
they don't have to have all the bathroom breaks too. I mean, it's
Well,
just
that makes sense too because, I'm going to
round
drink this
and
water, but in between services, or I'm in the middle of this perm wrap and now I've got to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So they're like, I won't drink the water because I don't want to have to leave my client to go to the bathroom. I get that, right?
Right.
Well, let's talk about the coffee.
slippery slope.
So they come down with the coffee. We're drinking the coffee all day long. But do we know that it takes twice as much water
To counteract.
to counteract
Well, sure, because you're probably peeing half of it
the
out.
coffee?
You're
Yeah.
going potty all the time.
Yeah. So when we
Potty all
drink,
the time. Potty all the time.
when we drink that
Potty all
caffeine,
the
It's a
time.
party.
we think we're going to stay motivated and energy levels up, but not really.
Mm-mm, you're going to stay peeing.
Not really. Not with all that
Maybe
coffee.
pooping too if it's
Oh.
coffee.
Whoa, here
Pooping.
we go.
If it's coffee, I mean,
Could.
Bum, bum, bum,
Could.
bum.
Nick, you talked a little bit about food and proper nutrition.
Oh, it's so difficult.
It's so difficult in our industry, but we need to eat.
Yeah.
That has to be a
but eat
primary
what
focus.
is the question? Because
I
you
think
can
small snacks.
go pick up McDonald's and call that food. But
No, you got to make better choices. Like, especially since I've had to deal with diabetes lately, so definitely have to think about like what's my schedule look like, and
Salads,
then
stuff
and
like
then
that.
quick things that I can power snacks that I can get into my belly quickly every couple of hours.
Because I think it's true. I think, let's just say what a typical day looks like. If you're doing, I don't know, what are people doing? 3, 4, 5 customers a day, sometimes 10, 15.
Who are you
I don't know.
talking- who's
Let's say
doing-
3 highlights. I don't know.
Two clients a day.
2
Well,
clients a
if
day,
you
3
have
clients a day. If they're doing color
full-
corrections, maybe they're doing only 2.
Hair down to your butt highlights.
If you're doing
and-
manicures, how many are you going to do in a day?
If you're a nail tech, you have to do at least 13 people a day to survive. I don't know. It must be nice to
Okay.
be a hairstylist.
No.
Girl. It depends. It all depends on what
Exhausted.
you're
Depends
doing.
on what you're doing as a
Depends on what you're
hairstylist,
doing.
too.
Men's
The
cuts,
coloring,
you're
the
plowing
cutting.
through. I mean, you're just
I mean,
going and going
I
and
cut
going.
hair yesterday all day. I did 15. I thought that was a pretty decent day for me.
Sounds like a decent
but when
day.
we talk about food and needing to eat, where I work, we all do get a lunch break, and I make sure that everybody gets
It's that sustenance.
their lunch break.
No, that's
Nice.
very true.
Because if you don't, I mean, you can't just survive on the coffee.
No.
You really
need food.
can't. You got to have food. So whether that means bringing food with you every day, I know way back I used to eat a lot of fast food, hence probably the weight problem, or going out for lunch. Like, oh, I don't have any clients for 2 hours. Let's go to lunch.
Well, I'll tell you what. I
And
mean,
eat big meals.
Well, we were fasting before it was even popular because we wouldn't even get a meal until 3
Right.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Right.
And then nowadays it's like, oh, you're fasting? No, that's what time I have a break.
No,
That
that's
you
my
finally had a
life. That's when I
Yeah.
can finally eat
and
something.
I can take a bite of this sandwich.
And then
Like-
when you're rushing in the morning, chances are you didn't have a breakfast at all.
Yeah.
Right. Right. But like Shawna said, if you take and consider snacks like throughout the day that you can easily fit into
Yeah.
your schedule.
High power protein
Yeah.
and a pickle.
You're going back to quickly mix the next batch of color and maybe you're going to eat some. But what do they do? Suck down coffee and an energy
Yeah.
drink and a cigarette.
Also, pickles are hydrating. Do you guys know that?
Pickles.
Don't
Yeah.
they have a lot of sodium though?
I don't know, but you stay hydrated. And it helps with muscle cramps.
Yes.
Pickles actually helps with a lot. It helps with muscle cramps,
Heartburn
period
too,
cramps,
doesn't it?
heartburn.
A pickle a day.
Pickle juice can actually help with like any like grease burns too. No, from working in a kitchen.
Okay.
A little slap and pickle.
Burn yourself. Just slap a little bit of pickle on there. You're good.
A pickle a day keeps me paid.
Okay.
Keeps me
There you go. We were
paid.
talking about
Pickle a
apples,
day.
but if we want to talk about pickles, okay, maybe.
It's like pickles to apples to oranges.
A pickle a day keeps
I
you
do love me
hydrated.
some oranges.
Yeah, I like
Oranges
fresh
are
fruit and
good.
vegetables. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about because sometimes it's better to have, a bag full of little small snacks that
Yeah.
you can just in between. Maybe
Keeps
you
that
don't
Then
have
energy
one
up.
a full
unhealthy
30
meal
minutes.
or something.
Oh my gosh, the one unhealthy meal. What happens after that? So
Turns
okay,
into
Then you
3
continue to
Yes.
make bad choices.
Sad.
so you
Your
eat
energy.
that big heavy meal for lunch, and then here comes 2:00 in the afternoon, and you still have 3 more clients.
And
and
you're
like,
starving.
I am not motivated to do nail art.
We get sleepy.
No, I'm
after
not.
that heavy.
No, I'm
meal.
not doing your hand painted bow.
hand painted bow.
Where's that sticker at?
A sticker. I like that.
Where's that decal? I used to have a client and she called the decals decals. And I didn't know.
Decals?
Oh, a decal.
I was so new in the industry, I didn't even know what that was. And I had to go ask them. I'm like, hey, what's a decal? And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? And I was like, I have no idea. And I was
Decal,
like,
yeah,
and then my friend was like,
decal.
do you think she means decal? And I'm like, oh, she's not from here. So maybe she
Decal.
means decal.
Oh,
Or she's never heard somebody say it and she's just read the word.
And it's always been decal in her brain.
Decal. Anyway, so for
Interesting.
an inside joke, we would call it decals for years.
I love that.
Yeah.
that's cute.
You want a decal?
I've never
You
heard
get a
of
decal
that.
today?
I've
I'll
never heard of
decal you
that.
up.
So, who here among our panel and some of our listeners out there do you guys get enough exercise?
No.
No.
Me neither.
Like I said, do steps count?
Do steps count?
Kind of.
I mean, they might. Do you
I
track
think
your
they do.
steps?
Flights of stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, you have it on your watch. Okay.
I do too.
But no, I need to get better at stretching.
I don't
Me
know if the watch
too.
is accurate because if I just move my arm like this, it'll automatically register 50 steps.
Maybe that's equal to a step.
It's lying to the watch.
Oh.
You're lying about your steps.
Well, I don't do that.
I do.
You lie about your steps to your watch.
It does it for me.
At one school I was
It's
at,
coveting the lie.
there was multiple floors, and I loved watching how many flights of stairs
That you
I
could
do.
climbed in a day.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my favorite thing. Like working at Zips right now. It's
Yeah.
the flights of steps.
The flights of steps.
So we have a basement.
Oh, so you go up and down.
Always going up and down the
Okay.
basement.
I used to try to. I sneakily would count my exercises when I would do pedicure because I have to stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. I'm like, well, I'm moving.
Or my bedroom's upstairs too, so I'm always going up flights of stairs every day.
So I think in our industry, it's very physical. We know that, and I feel that the importance of exercise to some degree, whether that is walking on your lunch break, joining the gym, taking your dog for a walk.
I think it is important to get
Something.
outside. Sometimes we're just stuck in that building.
We're
all
stuck
day.
inside.
It's like make a point to go outside.
Yeah. The fresh air and just being out in the sunshine. Stretching, though, oh my goodness. So I know when I was instructing, I had a little lesson plan where we talked about stretching, especially for hairstylists. In the cutting chapters, we talked about different kinds of stretches for our hands. And building up the strength in your hands. So, and then even in perming, I can remember students would have a hard time, like, oh my gosh, my hands hurt so much wrapping this perm.
Do some hand stretches and they won't hurt as bad.
You got to keep doing it because you'll build up that hand
The
stretch.
strength.
Yeah.
And my hands are very, very strong. Like I have a lot of strength in my hands.
Yeah.
So shampooing every day.
I think maybe while Misty goes and dies off for a second. I was a dancer for so long too. Before I even thought about becoming in this industry, I was like a ballet and lyrical dancer.
What about your water?
Yeah, why don't you
Misty?
drink some water?
Good idea, Shauna.
I was
Stay
a dancer,
hydrated.
so I was always on the bar. Like my hands were always on ballet bars, so I always had the strength in my hands from grasping a ballet bar all the time.
Yeah, nothing builds your hands up faster
Filing.
than filing. I mean, I have
Filing, I
the
bet.
strongest thumbs ever. Anyway, beauty professionals that need to stand or sit all day and perform repetitive tasks makes them susceptible to problems of the hands, wrists, shoulders, neck, back, feet, and legs. And so here's the thing. I would tell people, they're like, well, how do you know if you're sitting ergonomically, standing ergonomically, performing ergonomically? Well, you'll know because if you're working and all of a sudden you're in pain or you're pinched or you're feeling uncomfortable, you're probably positioned wrong and you need to recheck the way you're...
Ooh, I think yes, I agree.
Yeah, you need to recheck. It's like, am I holding this right? Am I standing right? Am I sitting right? Am I leaning right?
I literally just had a flashback.
Okay.
Of students saying well, this feels weird. Like my arm, my back, my something feels weird.
Yeah.
And I would be like, well, then we need to change your position.
Yeah,
Look at
change
your position.
We need to fix it right now.
Yeah.
Fix your position. And if you can learn that in the beginning,
You'll find that right sweet spot where you don't hurt all day.
because
like-
bad habits are hard to break.
It's like
They
learning
are.
palm to palm. They try to teach you that
Yes.
importantly.
Yeah.
First thing, so you're not learning a bad habit and trying to break a bad habit.
Absolutely. So wearing inappropriate shoes at work is not only uncomfortable, but it can also be dangerous. Flip-flops and open-toed shoes are not safe to wear around the electrical tools and sharp instruments. Also, just not paying attention to how you're holding yourself is not going to help you out at all over the long run.
Sleep. Who gets enough sleep?
Definitely not
Anyone?
me.
Do you get sleep?
I do, but probably not enough sleep.
How many hours of sleep do you get, Alyssa?
Probably like 4.
4? Oh my goodness.
4 hours of sleep.
We don't need to hear Alyssa's work schedule. Alyssa's working 13 hours at least every other
Are
day.
you okay?
I mean, I know what you need to grind, right?
Just need to make the money some way or another.
Need to
Here's the thing.
Sleep.
sleep.
We spend 1/3 of our lifetime in bed. First of all, let's make sure
1/3.
1/3 of your lifetime is sleeping.
Oh, my
Hopefully, if
God.
you're sleeping 8 hours a night,
8
let's
hours,
say.
8 hours, 8 hours.
But let's talk about what people are sleeping on.
Well, I used to sleep 8 hours a night. Now I don't. I'm older now, so now my sleep is all broke up.
Okay.
It sucks.
So not intentionally. Or intentionally. Is
Not
it broke up?
intention-
Oh,
no.
you're just waking up in the night.
Yes. And then my doctor's like, that's part of getting older.
My cat just wakes me up in the middle of the night.
Your cat. Oh.
Us, boy, you must love that cat.
I do. He's a sweetheart. His name's Gucci.
Oh, Gucci.
I turn Price is Right on with Bob Barker, and I sleep like a baby.
That is the best show to fall asleep to, though.
I think it reminds me of my childhood, but right to sleep.
I
must
put on
watch that
deep
show
sleep.
when I was a kid, too.
I tell Alexa to put on deep sleep, and it like hums to my brain, and then
I like that.
Go back to sleep.
So you're talking about different calming rituals. I like that because I feel like if, in the age of social media, right? I'm probably bad at this. I go to bed looking at Facebook.
I do the same thing.
Like, oh,
Me too.
who's done what or what's cool, new video. And I don't have TikTok. Then all you guys are watching TikTok
Love the
videos.
TikToks.
Oh, you would get sucked in so fast.
I don't even want to download it because I think
Good
I would.
idea. My
You don't have
fiance finally
TikTok.
went into
I
that.
do not have TikTok.
My fiance finally went down the TikTok rabbit hole and
Uh-oh.
he loves it.
Well, sleep or lack thereof affects our decision making
Sure.
and patience. Who needs
right.
patience when we're in this industry?
Girl, you need so much damn
my
patience, it's
gosh.
stupid.
You need patience. So if you don't have patience because you're tired, what are you going to do to that client?
You're going to be mean.
You're
You're
gonna get
gonna be
snarky with
mean.
them. You're gonna start.
Snarky, like,
And then you're going to snap at some child and somebody's going to videotape it and it's going to go viral in Spokane and you're going to be screwed.
I saw
Just
that too.
saying.
oh my gosh, that was scary.
that.
Don't
On that
pick on
at that
kids.
barbershop, yeah, that was terrible.
Girl, don't pick on kids. It's bad.
The kid wasn't even barely moving.
He wasn't moving at all.
And the
I watched it 20
Stop it.
times. Yeah.
And we know in our industry we have back problems.
Maybe that guy just needed some sleep.
Maybe he needed sleep.
And some chamomile tea.
Chamomile tea or a shower. I know
And
when
Alexa to play the deep sleep songs for him.
I know when I get home from the shop, I am covered in hair.
Ugh.
Yeah, and you just
And
want to
what do I
shower.
want to do? I want to shower,
And then lay in bed.
and I like
go
a
to
cup
bed.
of tea, and I like to be able to relax and sleep. If I would stay off Facebook, I'd be better. But I'd like to. Our recommendation would be to avoid screen time at all, at least 30 minutes before we go to bed. Right?
Try to unwind.
Well, it does. You close your eyes and you have that flash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something's happening. I gotta watch it.
So I feel like we just need to do better. We need to do better as professionals, and don't think like, oh, if I go to 6 hours is good, 5 hours is good, 4 hours.
4 hours
Alyssa?
is plenty.
4 hours. Oh my gosh. Lack of sleep could lead to. Let's see. Right, being sick.
Do you take naps at all? Do you ever like catch
I
them?
love naps. There's
If I
never
get a
enough
chance,
time.
I guess. But like, it really depends on the day. Like some days, like I work like 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. So there's no nap there.
But do you feel like with lack of sleep that you're more susceptible to illnesses and germs and getting
No.
sick?
I feel like I
No?
get more sick with more sleep.
Oh.
I feel like if your sleep,
If your
you're not-
body's
I
used
feel like
to a
if you're not
certain
getting enough
amount.
sleep and rest over a short period of time, your body will take the beating for it, and you're
do too.
going to be affected, and it is going to knock you down.
I do too.
Yeah, you got to rest, even if it's just a timeout, and put yourself in a chair with your legs up and your eyes closed for a little bit, and then, try to rejuvenate. Like take a quick timeout.
I like timeout.
Take a nap.
Yeah,
So
watch puppies on TikTok.
there you go. We know in this industry, time is money. And the
Certainly is.
decision to stay home could be a big one for both your clients and your bank account. So if you're like,
The time is money thing
I'm
right
sick.
there.
Do I really need to stay home? I don't know. My clients think I'm going to be there.
Well, that's important.
I'm kind of sick, but am I too sick to go to work?
Well, that's a huge thing when you're booth renting too, because you're making all your own money. You're not
Right.
on commission or anything.
And what are you going to do with all those clients that
all
day?
those clients that
You
day
know
when
how I
you're
feel
sick?
about people that come to work sick. I totally hate it. Take your sick ass home and sit it down.
Well, I felt like that with students
And don't
too.
come here spreading your sickness around here because there's nobody to take my place. Nobody can do these clients. Nobody can cover my stuff.
See, if I was like,
Nobody can replace me. Please go home and rethink your steps that took you to get here.
if I was dying of sickness, I wouldn't have shown up to school. But
Well, and that's where I want to
$80
say.
a day.
That's where I want to talk about it with school. When
Bye.
the students are in school and they're paying for an education, and they're hoping to graduate by a certain time, and they don't want to miss school because
Yeah.
they
Well, now
may or
you're
may
getting
not
the-
owe money.
Now you're getting the teacher sick. Now you're even more behind
yeah,
because now who's going to fill in for you? Light
Yeah.
bulb specialist. Come on.
Well, here's the thing: we're touching how many people a day?
A lot.
We come to school sick, or we come to work sick,
Yeah.
and what happens? We may pass that on to every single client, right?
Oh yeah.
And then they pass it on. But what? How about this? How about the client comes to shop sick?
We already talked about that. That's a no-go.
It's kind of the same. Yeah,
That's a deal breaker.
Do we want to go to work? It's important. Here's the
You
thing.
do not need to look good while you're blowing your nose and coughing up a lung. Go home and sleep.
Reschedule.
I would agree.
Stay
I would
away
agree.
from me.
But as the professional, I would say if you're running a fever or you're vomiting or heaven forbid you've got the
Yeah.
diarrhea,
Ugh.
stay home.
Stay home.
Call off. Use a sick day if you got it. If you got a little sniffle, like, okay, maybe I'm going to go ahead and go to work. But what are we going to do?
What, call it allergies?
Well, let's see. We just got what if it is an allergy?
Stay home, says Shawna.
I'm going to say if you do decide to go to work.
I think you know as an adult whether you're sick or you have an allergy.
I agree.
And
That's
if you're
true.
saying you're allergies and you're really sick, it's because you're lying.
But let's avoid shaking hands
Yeah, don't touch people.
If you're sick, right?
if you're
Especially-
sick.
especially
Washing our
Shawna, don't
hands
touch
between
Shawna.
every single client, obviously.
Or me. Don't touch me.
What
Which
about
you
just
should do anyway.
increasing our fluids? Go back to that water drinking,
Yeah, drink the water.
right?
Drink the water.
Drink the water. Keep the Kleenex around.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Check your
The
position.
electrolytes.
Get some sleep.
Ooh, I like it.
Electrolytes.
All of it.
All of it.
I'm going to do so much better.
I am
Every day
too.
I say this week, okay, I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to eat better lunches this week. Yep, I'm going to bed on time.
Well, at least you're trying, Misty.
We have to try, right?
Stay forever.
I think being conscious of all of these things in our industry is huge.
Huge.
Quit putting everyone above yourself and taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because you won't be able to take care of anyone else.
Yeah. Self-care is important.
I would like to, in a future podcast, not this one, because I think we might run out of time.
Okay.
We alluded to some emotional and mental health in this industry. And that's we don't have time for that today. But
That's
I
a
would-
major thing.
I would
for
like
sure.
to talk about that because we are listening to people, talking to people, mentoring, counseling.
Some would say we are their therapists.
We're
after
doing
all.
a lot. So that's a whole nother podcast. But I will delve into that in the future, talking about our own mental health and how to stay positive on that.
Yeah, because we're their clients' therapists. So what happens
Absolutely.
when we need a therapist? We can't be the clients can't be our
Absolutely.
therapist, right?
No, I mean, sometimes they want to be.
Sometimes they really want to
Yeah.
be.
All right. Well, that's all.
Is that it?
That is. That's all for
We're
today.
wrapping it up?
That's all.
We are wrapping up today's episode, Miss Shawna. I thank you all for tuning in to episode 8, An Apple a Day Keeps Me Paid. This is Misty Perlman.
I'm Shawna Martin.
Nick Olson.
Alyssa Hansen.
And this has been
Book
Book
till
till
June.
June.